We're on tip 3. We've not had any mention of consent. Destiny, stop debating, lose a waste of space. And how about fucking go after this fucking piece of shit right here with her 1.17 million subscribers, who is currently making an entire generation of young women absolute fucking bait.
To identify, even if you're feeling a little bit out of it.
Feeling a little bit out of it, just make sure your partner's wearing jewellery. Just don't have sex when you're not dissociated. Why don't you encourage your audience to tell their partner no if they're feeling out? You're dissociating, and if you're feeling out of it, and if you're not feeling 100%, as somebody with sexual trauma, who this video is aimed for, physical intimacy after sexual trauma and abuse, you with somebody with sexual trauma, if you are not feeling 100, you need to stop. That's all. That's the advice. Done. Then stop having sex.
Some people who've experienced things like this immediately go into a dissociative state when they need to use the word no or stop. Some people
immediately go into a dissociative state when they need to use the word no or stop. So saying a safe fuck off with this made up horse shit. Those people that can't say no or stop need to discover, because there are people, I get it, they can't use that, they don't know how to say no or stop. But guess what? They shouldn't be having sex. They need to first go through therapy and learn how to say no or stop. If you can't say no or stop, don't have sex. Stop it. You're a child. You haven't learnt the power of no yet. Fuck. I hate this. This is how you make a generation of men into rapists, by the way. Because this is how you make a generation of women who can't say no.
Extreme guilt for saying no or stop. Some people are scared to say no or stop because it's been ignored so many times in the past. Safe words can help you get around these issues. A really great and effective example that I would recommend using is the traffic light system. Imagine a traffic light if you're driving in a car, kind of one you'd see on the road. There's the red light at the very top, the amber, orange, yellow light, and the green light. We all know what all of those mean. For most people, you won't even have to think about it, and that's what you want. You want an immediate understanding without somebody having to be like, what does that word mean again? Or why are they saying that? What does that mean? You need something that's going to be an immediate red. Shit. Okay, stop everything now. So red is for stop everything immediately. Yellow or orange or amber or whatever you want to call it, you decide that.
Wait, she wants people to have 2 safe words. Rather than just telling partner no or having have 2.
That with your partner means slow down, warning. It can mean check in, it can mean change the subject. You discuss what you want this to mean with your partner. Green is for carry on, everything.
Destiny, stop debating, lose a waste of space, who only have platforms with like 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers. And how about fucking go after this fucking piece of shit right here with her 1.17 million subscribers, who is currently making an entire generation of young women absolute fucking rape bait. Imagine a woman who can't say no with a young pushy guy who doesn't know, who when a woman says maybe later, he hears she still wants it. You give that guy a yellow, he sees green. You give her a yellow, she uses yellow. You tell a woman she's got red, yellow, green, she uses yellow every time because she doesn't want to upset her man's feelings. And you tell that man what red, yellow, green means, he hears red, green, green. That's all he hears. Red, green, green. This isn't for people in kink communities. This is for fucking her baby brain child audience.
During a conversation and you're unable to communicate that you're getting triggered, or maybe the trigger comes on way faster than you realize and you're not.
She's literally replacing clear-cut consent boundary lines on power of no, stop. She's replacing that, as you say, with a fucking wishy-washy 3-tier system that, this is evil. I'm telling you, these people are just trying to make more people like themselves, and now she's taking it to the next level. First, she was just trying to do it by convincing a whole bunch of autists that they had DID. Now she's trying to do it by getting a whole bunch of autists that have been convinced into thinking they have DID to also get raped.
With safe words like yellow for slow down, warning, reassess, change the subject, you don't need to do any of that. No explanation needed. That means
with safe words like yellow, orange, reassess, warning, these are all words I might use whilst fucking someone. Maybe if you just have sex silently and never speak. Maybe if you don't like dirty talk. But Every partner I've had enjoys guys that guys get really awkward and embarrassed doing dirty talk, and every guy needs to fucking grow the fuck up on that and just get comfortable dirty talking, because women are far more auditory beings, you know?
Slow down, warning, reassess, change the subject. You don't need to do any of that. No explanation needed. That means there's no risk or low risk of triggering yourself further by trying to explain.
Totally agree that. Yeah. If you can't be direct about what you do or don't want, you shouldn't be engaging in the activity in the first place. I agree. Reassess, babe, yellow, orange, reassess, yellow, orange, reassess, orange, amber, orange, yellow, reassess. Be like, fuck. I'm fucking an android? This is kind of hot. I'm fucking her so hard that her AI is melting down. I'm like, this is hot. Reassess, yellow, orange, reassess.
Explain, thinking about the situation that is triggering you in the first place. Your partner will immediately know what's going on and should react accordingly. Always discuss what each word means and what response.
Destiny, I don't want you to react to this. I want Mr. Girl to react to this. I want Mr. Girl in her life.
You need when you hear someone else say them or when you said them. Another tip is that before you get into the bedroom, before you do anything sexual,
he can fix.
Experiment with positions in a safe and non-sexual manner. Fully closed, just positions. No heated atmosphere, no sexy stuff, nothing. Just normal vibes, safe, just positions. If you feel fear, discomfort, start to shut down or dissociate or
practice sexual positions fully clothed with your partner to figure out which ones. This is so, oh my god. We're on tip 3. We've not had any mention of consent. Don't talk about consent with your partner. Just make sure the consent one is already fully figured out, and then have 50 different safe words, and then practice sex fully clothed to find your safe positions. Yeah, let's just practice positions in a safe, non-sexual manner. Let's just fully clothed. You know, I'll just spread your legs, rub against you. Fully clothed. It's not sexual. We're just trying to figure out. Is this tips for foreplay for traumatized people? Is this a foreplay tip for people with trauma? If so, based as hell. Fair play.
Safe, just positions. If you feel fear.
If you can dissociate to the point that you can rub your crotch fully clothed against your partner's crotch, even fully clothed, you can dissociate to the point that that's not sexual at all, you're dissociating.
Start to dissociate or get a bit confused, or if you have DID or OSDD, you start to feel switchy, you have familiar sounds in the background, so you can be like, I know that sound, especially if it's a positive trigger for you to keep you in the front to you, so that if you do this, and they don't have to be sexy playlists or whatever.
Wait, are we already done? We're already done with positions.
Keep you grounded. Make sure you've got preset playlists, and they don't have to be sexy playlists or whatever. Music that you know is grounding, that is familiar to you, so that if you do.
Make sure that you have music on whilst you fuck so you stay grounded. Is awful advice. How many people get grounded listening to music when they're f***ing? Does that help ground you? For me, it always distracts me. I hate music being on when I'm having sex. I'm not. The whole play sexy music when you're fucking awful. I fucking hate music on when having sex. Actually is such a good way to ruin sex, in my opinion. Because if you're against the rhythm of the music, it feels wrong. If you're with the rhythm of the music, it feels cringe. It's lame. It's fucking shit.
You start to dissociate or get a bit confused, or if you have DID or OSDD, you start to feel switchy, you have familiar sounds in the background, so you can be like, I know that sound, especially if it's a positive trigger for you to keep you in the front if you do have the idea.
There's no such thing as positive triggers. Stop this made up bullshit. Just bullshit. There's no such thing as positive triggers. Positive triggers are called nice things. Just have music on in the background to keep you distracted is what she's saying. Do you realise? By staying grounded, do you realise she's saying pay attention? This is how to get ripped. When you're having sex, make sure you have something on that you can distract with. Asexual advice to having sex. The asexual's advice to sex: make sure that you have some music on so that you can distract yourself and pay attention to the sounds instead of the sex. That's how they get. She's actually trying to make people worse, isn't she? She is.
Sounds in the background, so you can be like, I know that sound, especially if it's a positive trigger for you to keep you in the front if you do have DID or OSDD, to help avoid other alters switching out during that intimate time. It can help you feel safer because, like, I know that song, where am I? Or I know that song, that's a safe song, I'm in a safe place.
The thing nobody tells you about the traffic light system in BDSM, but that you learn over time from being on the scene, is that they're not necessarily safe words for your partner. The reason having a universal set of safe words in the community is that if you say red, amber, or yellow in a space where other people are about, it will draw the attention of witnesses, which is not going to work at all in a private setting. In a private setting, you just make sure you understand each other's boundaries, limits, and understand consent first.
Where am I? Well, I know that song, that's a safe song, I'm in a safe place, I'm okay. However,
if you're dissociating to the point that you forget where you are when you're having sex and you need a song to snap you back to it, stop having sex now, immediately. I don't want to be a dissociated, lifeless corpse. Most men don't want to, and the men that do are rapists. So if your advice is just dissociate whilst having sex, but stay grounded to the distraction, to the dissociation, if that's your advice, you're encouraging women to get raped. You're encouraging men to become rapists. Wow. This might be her all-time lowest. She really should have stayed away from this subject. This might be the most damaging advice she has ever given.
Listening to music or having background noise makes you dissociate, don't have it on in the background. For other people, looking into or recognizing faces can be an issue. If you are in a position where you're face to face with somebody,
and you can't recognize their face, you should stop having sex immediately. Your partner is already triggered, is already dissociating. You need to stop having sex immediately. Do not encourage women to keep having sex in this situation. You're encouraging women to keep having bad sex. Hey, earlier, you know how I was saying like most women think they should have bad sex. It's because of this. It's because of advice like this. This is a new age of it, though. This is the new age. It's instead of, oh, don't worry about it, women aren't meant to enjoy sex. It's, oh, don't worry about it if you're not enjoying it, just dissociate. Just pay attention to the TV or the music. Just listen to the music, sweetie. Just listen to the music. Don't worry about what's happening. You can't recognize the face in front of you. Just listen to the music. It'll all be over soon. How to keep re-traumatizing yourself and make it so that sex is something you can never enjoy.
To help avoid other alters switching out during that intimate time, it can help you feel safer because, like, I know that song, where am I? Or I know that song, that's a safe song, I'm in a safe place, I'm okay. However,
if you're having all of those thoughts whilst you're having sex with somebody, you're not having sex with them. Dissociated. If whilst your body is physically getting fucked, you're thinking, I'm in a safe place. Where am I? I'm in a safe place. What is this? Where am I? I'm in a safe place. I hear music that I know. I'm in a safe place. You're not having sex with your partner in that moment. You're dissociating and your partner is fucking your body. That's all. This is really grim advice. This is encouraging women to get raped.
Where you're face to face with somebody. Eyeshadow or something like that. If they have jewelry, maybe some interesting or brightly colored or unique jewelry that would be easy for you to identify, even if you're feeling a little bit out of it. And if you are
feeling a little bit out of it, just make sure your partner's wearing jewelry. Just don't have sex when you're not dissociated. Why don't you encourage your audience to tell their partner, know if they're feeling out. Why are you? If you're feeling out of it, you're dissociating, and if you're feeling out of it, and if you're not feeling 100%, as somebody with sexual trauma, who this video is aimed for, physical intimacy after sexual trauma and abuse, you with somebody with sexual trauma, if you are not feeling 100, you need to stop. That's all. That's the advice. Done.
And if you are feeling a little bit out of it, you can use yellow. Take a break, check in, have some water, ground.
Yellow doesn't mean stop. If you are feeling out of it, you can use yellow, which means keep going, just not as hard. Keep going, just do something else. Yellow doesn't mean stop. Red means stop. Yellow means keep going. If you're feeling out of it, your partner's fucking you really hard. You're feeling a bit out of it, and you say yellow. He's going to pull his dick out and start eating your pussy, right?
Well, if this happens, it's going to trigger me out. I don't want to be there, okay? The amount of times I was triggered out as Nina, I mean, it was my job. I get triggered out and, just carry on because I'm there now. So it's what I'm supposed to do type thing.
But, if you notice that happening, just pay attention to the music in the room. The advice so far has consisted of dry hump your partner non-sexually, fully clothed, to figure out what might be a trigger physically. Listen to music so that when you're having sex, you have something to focus on so that you can stay focused on the music. When you don't recognize your partner's face and you're dissociating, make sure they wear brightly colored jewelry. Make sure your partner's wearing jewelry that's brightly colored so that you recognize them when you don't even recognize their face.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
This advice you are giving is so fucking damaging and dangerous because you are victimizing not just women but men as well. And by that, I mean you are turning men into rapists with this advice. By giving women the advice that if they cannot say stop, if they cannot say no, that they should still be having sex. You are encouraging women who cannot say stop, who cannot say no, to go out there and get raped. In the process, making their boyfriends, who probably aren't rapists at heart, now guilty of that crime, guilty of that burden on their soul, because you were too fucking bone idle and stupid to give good advice. It's so damaging. It's so dangerous. Thank you so much for watching, Loungers. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe even leave a comment, you fuck.